What's going on, fight fans? All right, so UFC 261 is in the books. It happened for the first time in a year's time span where we had a sold out arena. Fans were in the building. They were providing the energy. They were providing the momentum. They were live when the fight got live, and even when the fight was going down, they still kept the energy up because they knew that they could rally these fighters to keep on putting this show. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure from all eyes on these fighters, so they wanted to go out and perform like they have never performed before. So, starting off with the main event, Kamal Uzman versus Jorge Masvidal. This was so interesting because fans were just split both ways. You have a strong fan base for Jorge Masvidal, the cover of the UFC 4 fight game, along with Israel Adesanya. Jorge Masvidal, he's running Florida. And, man, shout out to Chad Ochocinco, man. He asked Jorge Masvidal in the interview. Jorge Masvidal looked him right in the face and said, I'm taking this one. I'm taking this one. And this is the fight game. I heard someone say, well, I didn't hear it. So I read some on a Facebook channel for NFC fighting down in Atlanta. Someone said that Jorge Masvidal just wasn't in this fight. He wasn't trying. That couldn't be further from the truth. If anybody knows anything about these fight camps and these fight teams, there's a person on Jorge Masvidal's team named Mike Brown. Now, Mike Brown, he's a beast of a fighter. I reference him as a fighter's fighter who turned coach. He is violent. He is intelligent. He knows how to get strikes in where people don't really think about it. So he's a little bit unorthodox. And that's who Jorge Masvidal has in his corner. So not for one second did I think Jorge Masvidal was not taking this fight serious. And that comment stuck with me because I'm thinking like, are you talking about Ben Askren versus Jake Paul? Because then I could see your point. Maybe Ben Askren got a little bit too cocky and just thought that he was gonna run through this YouTube guy. Yeah, Ben Askren, he came off as not concerned and not taking this fight very serious. And he very well might be. Ben Askren just has one of those personalities where it's kind of hard to read him. Never mind the fact that he just came off of surgery going into that boxing match against Jake Paul. But nonetheless, talking about Jorge Masvidal and people saying that he wasn't taking the fight serious, there is no way in the world that Jorge Masvidal wasn't taking this fight serious. This was a legacy fight. Coming from where Jorge Masvidal comes from to redirect his fighting career, he took up the sport of mixed martial arts, and he was a quote-unquote journeyman. But that wasn't the case in the last 3 years. Jorge Masvidal has resurrected his career. He has done a lot of great things, beating Darren Till, beating Ben Askren, making a name for herself that way, putting on good fights against Nate Diaz. This fight was for a welterweight championship belt, so never should anyone say that Jorge Masvidal did not try his best. He came out with the game plan. He tried to throw in that flying knee, and it was intelligent how he did it. He knew he wasn't going to fly out the gate throwing the flying knee. We've already seen that before. But he got into his boxing combos. He got Uzman striking with him. And when Uzman would open up, Masvidal went for those flying knees. Just straight up standing, no running start, just up in the air, vertical flying knees. And I couldn't tell if he almost caught Uzman or if Uzman dodged out the way. Nonetheless, Uzman did have good blocking defense. He didn't make a rookie mistake. He was blocking the right way. Now, I'm not saying that I know how to block the right way, but I can just tell by the way that Uzman positioned his arms and his guard was there where he blocked the shot. And I was like, that's great. He saw that shot coming, or he practiced that enough to know, hey, listen, this may come and I might not be aware of it. But he was like in the mix and in the sauce. And somehow he composed himself to block that shot. And that is understated. I think Masvidal went for that vertical knee twice, maybe even 3 times. I lost count because I was like, oh, he tried it again. He tried to catch Uzman again. And for me, that kind of rang a bell. I was like, oh, he's a little bit desperate, because you go for that technique one time and it's like, okay, I didn't get it. And then to automatically go right back to it, I was like, okay, something's up. But it's Masvidal, man. So what I found out after the fight is that he's only been knocked out. This is the second time he's ever been knocked out in his illustrious fighting career. He's been doing this for a long time, and he's only been knocked out twice. So that's worth noting. Uzman, man, they were talking about the boxing game, and it was a sight to see. It was like a Deontay Wilder KO punch. He hit Masvidal so hard, the water came bursting off of Masvidal's cornrows. It just exploded. It was a great picture. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to show it because I don't have the copyright privileges to it, and I'm not trying to get sued or striked off of YouTube. So anyway, by the way, like the video, send a comment. That way we can keep this momentum going. But yeah, the king stayed the king, the Nigerian Nightmare. He told y'all a long time ago. He said, I'm a problem, and he is still just that. With 13 victories in the UFC now. He's on the longest winning streak actively, I think, right now, and he's staring down the pike right now. He's gonna fight Covington, and chances are he fights Edwards next. And too tall task. If he beats these two folks, Uzman will be known as the greatest welterweight of all time, overtaking George St. Pierre. Now, people are already saying that he's the greatest welterweight of all time because they're saying that George St. Pierre never finished people like Uzman is doing right now. So shout out to Uzman for putting on a great main event, getting that second round KO. And it was not just a normal MMA KO. Sometimes you see the ground and pound is like a little sloppy, and it's the KO comes while they're in the ground and pound. This was a straight up standing up. I went to the body a few times, got you to drop your guard. I throw that little 1-2 combination in there, and it connected so well. So well. I'm trying to think. There was somebody on this card who took a punch, and it was crazy. I think it was Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute took a punch to the chin, and I'm transitioning now, by the way. So we know Uzman won. He beat Jorge Masvidal in the rematch, the whole camp. Let me tell you guys about Jimmy Crute, man. Jimmy Crute's a warrior. He's a soldier. I did not have Jimmy Crute beating Anthony Smith. I thought Anthony Smith this is his kind of night. And I made this prediction only like right before the fight. Anthony Smith is the type of dude that he vibes off the crowd. He's had a couple of down fights. He's had a couple of up fights. He was going to win this fight regardless. But, Jimmy Crute, man, he lost the fight due to doctor stoppage, and his knee was getting jacked up from these kicks that he was doing and Smith was handing out. The interesting thing about Jimmy Crute is with a busted leg, with a busted knee, Jimmy Crute found a way, not once, but twice, he found a way to, get kicked in the leg, fall to the ground in agony, in pain. And once Anthony Smith went to go capitalize on Jimmy Crute, Jimmy Crute would respond back as the aggressor, and he would be putting Anthony Smith in compromising positions. A little bit of wrestling. The wrestling really helped out Jimmy Crute. So shout out to Jimmy Crute for the endurance. He tried to come back and fight, but the medical professionals, they said, hey, man, you're done. And it was a smart move. It was the right move to make. Hats off to both fighters. Hats off to Anthony Smith for getting that win in the win column, staying alive in the light heavyweight division. So while I'm on that topic, might as well talk about Chris Weidman, man. It's cool to see that Weidman moved down to South Carolina, slow pace, slow motion South Carolina. Sad news is Chris Weidman, man, that leg injury was, just gruesome. I don't want to see it again. I just can't see it again. Like, it was too real. Now, I'm a Washington football fan, so it reminded me so much of Alex Smith when he got that leg injury. And, the way that Alex Smith had to come back just to be a quarterback, to sit behind the pocket and throw a football was crazy enough. Chris Weidman's career, sad to say, he's going to probably have to transition out, man. yes, you can bounce back from this type of injury. Anderson Silva had the same kind of injury, ironically, after fighting Chris Weidman. Anderson Silva went for a leg kick and broke his leg in the same fashion. Chris Weidman broke his leg against Uriah Hall. Oh man, it's crazy. The leg I don't even want to talk about it. I'm sure you've seen the highlights, the recap, the replays, whatever. It's just gruesome. I don't even want to, for the kids' sake, I'm not gonna go back and explain what happened to that man's leg. But Chris Weidman, prayers out to you. Get better, man. And whatever happens next, if he's fighting still, great. If he's transitioning out to do something different, it's very understandable, But let's talk about these two headlining fights. Starting off with Valentina Chefchenko versus Jessica Andraj. Man, let me tell you how I was going back and forth in my mind thinking that Valentina Chefchenko, she is the John Wick of the UFC, of MMA. Her record is something crazy. Valentina Chefchenko, her record 21 wins, 3 losses, 2 of them to the GOAT, Amanda Nunes, in a higher weight class, so we're not going to count that against her. Interesting fact, when was her other loss? Liz Carmouche, TKO, in 2010. So basically, we all know how great Valentina Chefchenko is, but I thought about it. I said Jessica Andrade is the type of person. We saw what she did to Rose Namajunas. She picked her up and slammed her. I thought that Jessica Andrade was going to have something for Valentina Chefchenko. I thought this was going to be a competitive fight. It was going to be a grimy fight, a dirty fight. And Andraj, at the last minute, I predicted that Andraj would find a way to embarrass Shevchenko with the slam and somehow come out with a victory. Just one of those things. Like every great fighter has a down day, and I thought that Andraj had the magic skill set to put Shevchenko in there. To my surprise, Shevchenko, what she did was amazing. She found a way to take her weakness and make it her strength and just put down Jessica Andrade. So the king stayed the king, the queen stayed the queen. Shevchenko held it down as we would expect her to do. Now, the fight that I had my eyes on that I couldn't really comprehend what just happened. Zhang Weili, first of all, the fans in Jacksonville, mad disrespectful, booing this lady. But it's understandable sometimes because, you boo people that, are not your favorite. And Zhang Weili, she's been nothing but respectful. So I'm not sure why people didn't like her. But I think it was just one of those things where people were just amped up and, COVID held everybody in the house. So this is the first time people get to cheer, but you could just tell there was definitely some racist undertones in some of them boos. It wasn't just in the fighting spirit, and that's just what it was. That's what it is. Joe Rogan made a comment saying, "Welcome to Florida," and that's just not acceptable. Florida, do better, Florida. But Rose Namajunas, she made this fight a short fight. The feints, the fakes, the feints, the fakes, the feints, and that leg reach. I think she has the longest leg reach in the women's weight class, in the women's genre of fighting. Women's straw weights for sure. She has the longest leg reach, and she quoted saying that her dexterity was the reason why she won this fight. One kick to the jaw was all it took. It's a short night, round 1. The fight couldn't have been more than a minute 18 seconds according to Wikipedia. So yeah, Rose Namajunas is the new champion again. She's lost it, and now she's got it back. She's the champ. Great night on the main card. Natural Grappler. Thank you for checking out the channel. Peace.